start with the last question, because it might prove a bit contentious. Dress code on polling day. I will start by reading the law. Beg your indulgence. Section 47 of the Presidential Elections Act. It says, in subsection 2, a person shall not, while in a polling station, display on his or her person any emblem, ensign, badge, label, ribbon, flag, banner, card, or device as a badge intended, mark the words, or likely to be taken as intended to distinguish the wearer as a supporter of any candidate. That's the law. Anything, any dress, any object, any banner, candidate's portrait, any flag that might be taken as intended to distinguish you as supporting a particular candidate is prohibited. Now, the issue of the national flag. The national flag is the national flag. But we also know, those of us who have been here during the campaigns, that some candidates have used the national flag as a campaign symbol wherever they have gone. They have used it as a campaign symbol wherever they have gone. Now, the law says that anything, and it does not distinguish, when the law talks of a flag, does not distinguish between a national flag or a party flag or any flag. It says anything, any flag that might be taken as intended to distinguish you as a supporter of a particular candidate is prohibited at a polling station. Party colors, because our parties have their designated and approved colors. Any attire of your party color, you should leave it at home. Put on ordinary attire. Candidates' portraits or attires, please leave them at home. That's what the law says. And we want Ugandans, if you want to have peaceful, credible, free and fair election, observe and respect the law. It is here in the Presidential Elections Act, very well spelled out. It also goes with the campaign posters or paraphernalia hanging at a polling station, where, because maybe a polling station is next to buildings and the walls of the buildings have been plastered during campaigns with the posters of the candidates. Now that this is a polling station, they are supposed to be removed or plucked down by, I think, the Electoral Commission. Ordinarily, you are not supposed to destroy or deface or remove the campaign poster of a candidate, ordinarily, during campaigns. But once campaigns have closed, and this area is now a polling station, all such paraphernalia should be pulled down. And I think, thank you for raising that question. Commissioners, we should emphasize to our staff that any campaign paraphernalia should be pulled down from polling stations. The polling station should be devoid of any candidate's portrait or symbol of a political party, and so on and so forth. Those should now remain on the ballot papers, which the candidates, which the support or the voters are going to be issued with. Now, I will start with a question from our sister from across, Ruth. When does campaign period end? The law says campaigns shall end 48 hours to polling. 48 hours to polling. So we expect campaigns to end tomorrow at midnight. Campaigns should, but for rallies, the law, the guidelines say, even the law actually, it is in the law, for those holding rallies, mass rallies, the rallies will end at 6, as they have been doing, 6 p.m. But maybe radio programs, Maybe a candidate may have booked airtime or something like that. In the evening, when most listeners or viewers are at home, but essentially 48 hours to polling. That's when campaigns stop. Ruth, unfortunately, the Electoral Commission does not monitor campaign financing in Uganda. It is free for all. The more money you have, you go. We tried National Consultative Forum endeavored in 2020 to introduce an amendment in the law to cap campaign or political financing. Money, I don't know whether it happens, Your Excellency, I don't know whether it happens also in Nigeria, but in Uganda, the issue of money has really become endemic in our elections. The use of huge sums of money has become a problem, a challenge. And the only way you can address that is by having the relevant legal framework in place. We try to push it to Parliament, National Consultative Forum, where we are members as a commission, try to push it to Parliament. It never saw the light of day, I think for obvious reasons, I think. So it did not come out, so there is no law on campaign financing. Whoever has the deepest pockets goes on. Those who have short pockets, what do we do? You can maybe convince the voters and tell them, please, I have the right ideas. It's not about the money in my pocket. It's about what I'm going to do for you. And that's what we are trying to do. There are some also civil society organizations like ACME. I think this one, again, campaign money something. They also tried to push that amendment. It did not come through. We hope one day, there will be a law to cap for campaign financing or political financing during elections. Then the other issue was, yes, I think they have raised something very, 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 very critical. The voters on 15th are going to be issued with 3 ballot papers: presidential, woman member of parliament, directly elected. The boxes are different at the polling station. For presidential, WMP, directly elected. The ballot papers are different. We have designed that once the 3 ballot papers have been issued to the voter, 2, because I think the first box is presidential, the other 2 are going to be placed in some kind of polythene pouch, some polythene pouch. The presiding officer will place the other 2 there, and then the voter will remain with the one in his or her hands, presidential, because that is coming first. He goes but you know, some of our people are illiterate still. They may inadvertently, unintentionally, find themselves dropping the woman member of parliament ballot paper in the directly elected, or vice versa. So what do you do? Is it invalid? I don't think it is invalid. It is only wrongly placed because of the literacy levels of our people. I think we shall have to address that with our people, with our field officers, on how to handle that. Don't simply throw away this ballot paper because it is placed in the wrong box. I think we shall have to. And then on these remaining days, we are going to have many radio talk shows with our field people to emphasize the need. But the voters are also going to be assisted. There will be somebody assisting them, telling them, no, this one is now, you are supposed to, this one is the one for women member of parliament, woman member of parliament, and the other one is for male. We shall put in place a mechanism that avoids all this. But assuming a ballot paper finds itself in the wrong box, in my view, that ballot paper should not be thrown away anyhow. Yes, Rose, yes, we cannot, unfortunately, we cannot prescribe the number of people who should be at a polling station because those numbers are prescribed in the law. For instance, if the law says each candidate is entitled to 2 agents, if there are 20 candidates or 30 candidates, you cannot restrict them to 1 agent. No. They just have to be 60 or 70 or whichever number, because the law allows them to do that. So that is one of the things, and that's why we've been emphasizing. If you have this army, this battalion of agents at a polling station, moreover inside. Why do you need this hangar zone 20 meters away? Why? So we cannot persuade Sister Rose, we cannot limit the number of people, but even observers are at liberty to get to a polling station once they have been accredited. You're not going to tell, well, the good thing about observers, they don't stay there for hours and hours and hours rooted to one polling station. But the people who are rooted there full time are the agents of the candidates who are permitted in law to do that. What the media can report on? Well, I'm not a media person. I don't know the ethics of, do they have a code of conduct? I think they also have ethics. Every profession has ethical conduct. I think they're supposed to report. I don't want to guess what they're supposed to report. But I don't know. In this process, or the quest for a free and fair election, peaceful election, I think we should try to promote elements, aspects that ensure there is peace and stability in our midst. And therefore, the media, who are entitled to do their work in accordance with the principles of journalism and so on and so forth, and should also be cognizant of that we should also promote peace and stability in our country. Because at the end of it all, when the 15th is gone, when the 17th is gone, when we declare the final results, we shall have this entity called Uganda, which shall remain for the people of Uganda. We shall remain here. Our guests, our visitors, will go back. But for us, whom God created and said, you are Ugandan, I think let us be mindful of what is good for Uganda and what endangers Uganda, what promotes the kind of Uganda I want. And I've been telling people, we should always ask ourselves, all of us in positions of responsibility, positions of leadership, positions of decision-making, ask yourself, is what I'm about to do for the good of my country or not? If it is for the good of me as me, but not for the country, let me not do it, because it endangers the country. Let me promote that which is good for the country, so that at the end of this election, we have peace and stability like we have today. That's why I was telling our distinguished, wonderful guests that you are free to move to any part of the country. The IGP has not said, don't go there. There are issues in that part of the country. You are free to move to any part of the country. It is peaceful and stable. To me, that is the icing on the cake. Peace and stability should not be compromised in whatever way or circumstance. If a rascal tries to manhandle an election official, of course, my brother, what he witnessed in Kawempe was unfortunate. But IGP is aware. We have discussed the good, the bad, and the ugly that we witnessed in Kawempe. And I can assure you, we are not likely to see a repeat of such scenarios as we saw, because all of us owe it to our people to have peaceful processes. Now, yes, how many polling officials? Now, we understand we are going to have about 7 polling officials at a polling station, including the constable, the polling station constable, the polling station constable. There are about 7 who are supposed, but these are clearly distinguishable. They put on the aprons labeled EC with the logo and the labels of the EC. These are there. But agents, all they need to do is to bring letters of introduction from the candidates And they introduce themselves to the presiding officer. I'm an agent for candidate so-and-so. I'm an agent for candidate so-and-so. I'm an agent for candidate. What is not permitted, and I repeat, is anyone coming with a tag or a label that I'm a vote protector for candidate so-and-so. The concept of vote protector is alien, is not known in the electoral laws. What is known is an agent of a candidate. So anyone who comes to a polling station with a tag or label of vote protector for candidate so-and-so. When I use the word masquerader, they say they came against me with a brick of tons, a ton of bricks and so on. But that's what it is. Let's have designated people in law at the polling station. Observers, yes. Agents, yes. Representatives of political parties who have been accredited, yes. I think I've answered the issue of campaign posters around polling station, Alex. These should be pulled down. Actually, after campaigns are over, the whole of Wednesday, I think we are going to assign that to our people pulling down these posters, all of them, because there are no more campaigns. After tomorrow, no more campaigns. Pull down all these posters at polling stations. But now if you pull down one under the law, it is an offense for you to deface or destroy a campaign poster. Not for now. On the issue of brutalization, if that word exists in English, brutalizing supporters. Afande, you're the one going to answer this, because this one is too hard for me to answer. Mr. Mwinyi Hashim, yes, indeed, as you have said, we are cognizant, we are aware the 20-meter distance is provided for under the law. But you see, the law does not apply in a vacuum or in abstract. You must contextualize it in the prevailing or existing circumstances in order for you to give full purpose and meaning to the law. If the law creates an absurd or unfortunate situation, should we just... So I know that for the law to be said not to be operated as it says, Parliament must amend that law or repeal it, whichever. You are right, I agree. But we are saying, in light of what we have experienced in the past, in light of the fact that we want a credible, peaceful, free and fair process, in light of the fact that we want every voter not feel intimidated, in light of the fact that we want to safeguard the effects and the processes and the outcomes at a polling station, do we say, let it be business as usual? When we have empirical evidence to show that when people keep around, this is what is likely to happen. That's where we are coming from. But we are aware this is the work of Parliament. Maybe come 2031, those will be there. Maybe this would have been looked into. Rise Ministry. Some polling assistants are young. Some are old. Yes, I think it's a very critical matter, especially our female polling officials whom we employ. They have to go back home. But the first point is the people we recruit, ladies and gentlemen, as polling officials are from the communities where the polling station is best. We recruit people from those communities where the polling stations are located. We don't get someone from Mbarara and throw him to Mbale, about 100 or 200 miles away. No, they are from those, and therefore, we think or we expect them to find it easier to get back home. But we'll give them an allowance which caters for their mobility, transport, and so on and so forth, so that they can, in Uganda, Your Excellencies, I think you have seen, we have this common mobility called borders. I hope they do not be a hindrance to, as you are coming to the commission. They ride anyhow. Those are everywhere in the villages and so on. So they are utilized in the cities, in the rural areas to move people. But we think this is something we should look at, that we should safeguard our female officials whom we recruit to work on that day. Yes, someone raises a fundamental question. Agents being abducted by security, that's not permitted. An agent is recognized in the law. An agent is recognized in the law. An agent is legitimately, lawfully, and officially at a polling station performing functions that are pertinent to the conduct of a free and fair election. Why should they be abducted? For what? They should not. They can say this unequivocally. An agent who is authorized to be at a polling station should not be abducted at all or arrested. But if the agent is committing a crime, that is a different matter. Because the fact that you are an agent does not place you above the law. But to arrest someone merely because he or she is an agent of a candidate is not permitted. And I think we are going to ensure this does not happen. The other forms, yes, thank you very much. I forgot one aspect. The DR forms of 2026 general elections also have a barcode. They too are going to be scanned by this kit. The DR forms also have a barcode. They are going to be scanned as well by this kit to authenticate them. Now, if any strange DR form finds itself to the national tally, to the district tally center, to the returning officer, I think it will be sorted. This is something we want to tell you. I think those were the questions. Now these written ones. The complaints we have been handling, we have settled the bulk of them. But you can't believe it. Even last week, people filed complaints, post-nomination complaints. And the issue is the law. Article 61 of the Constitution does not put a cap on the filing of these petitions. That's what it says. Article 61, one of the functions of the Electoral Commission is to hear and determine election complaints arising before and during polling. You can imagine, even the day of polling, the Constitution says people can still complain. So we are trying, as when they are filed, we make effort to clear them. The law does not put a cap on when we should stop hearing them. Even on a polling day, we are supposed to hear complaints. Very interesting. Yes, I think Julius, this participant says on the TV programs and the announcements and sensitizations we are making, the issue of the invalidation of a vote or a ballot is not being addressed. The intention of the voter is not being emphasized. This is what he's saying. I think this is something we have to take up today, tomorrow, and Wednesday. For us, we can go on with our programs. We can go on with our voter sensitization programs, even though campaigns have officially closed. So this is something we need to emphasize. This morning I talked to the regional regional election officer of my region, which I supervise in Elgon, and I emphasized this point. I said, please let us emphasize the issue of invalidation of votes and the difference, the distinction between the intention of the voter and what is outrightly invalid. That should be distinguished. Thank you very much. I think, please quick. I think the issue of the flag I've answered. Any colors of flag? Media. Is it allowed to announce and declare results? A big no. Please don't declare results. Media. The act or conduct of declaring the results is the preserve of the Electoral Commission. But if the Electoral Commission, you know, Your Excellency and distinguished guest award, Your Excellencies, the ambassadors, you know those of you who have been here. At the National Tally Center, we give regular updates of the results as they come in. from the country, the presidential results. We give regular updates. This is what has come in from this area. This is what has come in from this area. Now the media, picking from that, can now publicize and say the Electoral Commission says so far they have received results from here. But for you not to formulate and generate your own results and then start informing the country, you are creating a ground for something that you may not be able to handle. So please, let us follow what the Electoral Commission disseminates or publicizes or passes out. Then you can pick that. Some people even go to the extent of trying to set up their own tally centers. And they want to inform the public that for us, that's what we have received so far. But the Constitution is very clear. The law is very clear. The Commission shall ascertain, declare and publish the results. Now, if you don't have that mandate, you cannot report what the Commission has released. So please, but I know our media, wonderful people, we have been working with them. We have not had any issues with them. They always get from us what is trending as far as the activities are concerned and the outcomes. So I think we should not have a challenge in that regard. I think I've answered all the questions, Commissioner Anthony. Afande, is there any question for you? Somebody talked of brutalizing, some of these things. Thank you.
Thank you, Lord Chairperson. I think mine is to make a statement here.